one thing I think we could do is maybe vibe code an intro video through Replit. It'd be kind of cool
Yeah,
to do like an intro video.
yeah. I need
I
to
want
look
to
at this
test that
in more
out.
detail. Yeah, have you used it yet or not?
I haven't used Replit with the animation videos, but I use like Vibe Code app to vibe code like an application, and then I ran out of tokens on the free version, so I was like, I don't want to buy it. But I've been using Claude, and Claude is blowing me away. So I used it like 6 months ago for a year, and like now I'm using it again, and it's way better than ChatGPT.
Yeah, everyone's
So
so yeah, I find the
yeah, I
same.
didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. So definitely want to do more Replit, but we are live, guys. How's it going, everyone?
Yeah, good, good. It's good to be back on our fortnightly bit call. Hello, everyone. Hi, Adib. Hi, Petri.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Um, yeah, we're going to get some nice violin. Is it a violin, Petri? Your daughter's practicing, or is it cello?
It's the cello, and actually, it's my son this time.
Oh, it's your son. They both play amazing. Okay, so we're going to get a bit of that background noise, but that's fine. All good. And yeah, what are we going to talk about today?
We got a big agenda, I think, today. No.
Yeah, there were a couple of things we wanted to talk about, just to reflect some conversations that Petri and I were having earlier in the week. And yeah, I think, central to what we're doing with Streamer Video app is using decentralized technologies in order to build a better video experience. So we were talking about the importance of unstoppable communications and the importance of open source. So just and then there were a couple of other things we were talking about as well in terms of how our technology is more private than, say, StreamYard and Restream and these sort of platforms. So yeah, just to kick the conversation off, Petri was actually sharing an article with me, which is almost a year old now, this incident, but Trump basically put the judges from the International Criminal Court based in Hague he's put them on the sort of terrorist ban list, which means that they can't get access to certain payment rails, whether they be fiat or crypto, but also communications platforms like Zoom and Google, or the US-based ones. And we were talking about it because it's another example of how reliance on US tech is a problem for certain European agencies. We also talked about on this call a couple of weeks ago, but France announced that all government agencies are going to be banned from using Meet and Zoom and Teams going forwards for privacy and security reasons. And we also said on this call, it's quite a sad time, really, because it feels like the European states are kind of dividing on a geopolitical level anyway. I don't think that's necessarily the case at a sort of human individual level. We're still friends, Steve. It's okay. But Europeans and Americans work together all day, every day. So it's a bit of a strange dynamic, but certainly that's happening at the sort of geopolitical level. So yeah, Petri and I are talking about, how do we truly make streamer video unstoppable? And by that we mean, because it's built on decentralized technology, making it very, very difficult or impossible for third parties to take the service down. And
I think a lot of people don't truly understand it because there's not many applications that are like doing this still that aren't built on decentralized like infra. And it's exciting because we will like be able to showcase that. And I think like we have to have like test, like people testing it to showcase that it's possible. Where I mean there is limits to what we want to test, right? What can be taken down and what won't be taken down, or nothing really at all. But just the idea of overload of computer processing, and if any Cloudflare were to happen where it went down, we would be fully operating. Like I think Rumble showed that showcased that pretty well, because they do have a lot of distribution within their cloud resources, and they don't fully rely on like an AWS or Google Cloud. But something like that were to go down and we're fully operating, fully functioning, have a very low latency and everything is working well, and any other, mayhem that's going on in the world, those are really good use cases and shows the beauty behind what we have.
Yeah, and I think we're trying to work through, like, how do we structure ourselves so that we can offer that kind of as a benefit, leveraging the technology because it is unstoppable by nature. But how do we do that from a sort of company perspective as well? And I think the other thing that's trending at the moment that we're seeing blow up across social media is ID verification for under 16s for certain social media platforms. So Discord and Reddit have come under fire in recent weeks, and there's sort of those on the sort of this end of the spectrum are saying, look, this is just a guise for more government surveillance, more government control. It basically means that if you want to use these massive social media platforms, then you have to upload your ID now. So that is another huge infringement on the world of privacy, and this is a slippery slope, as we've talked about before. We can't allow this slippery slope to happen because over the longer term, this does materially result in reduced freedom for individuals, and that's really, really important because we live our lives on the internet nowadays, and when privacy is compromised, then bad things can happen and do happen. So yeah, it's there's a lot going on at the moment in this kind of space. So yeah, lots there, and I think part of this is as we bring streamer video to market, how much are we leveraging sort of decentralized technology to solve those problems. And the other thing is open source is really, really important. So Streamer Network, the underlying infrastructure behind streamer video, is open source already, and that's a great thing. And so in all likelihood, we'll be making the streamer video code base open source as well in due course. We're just working out how to do that, how best to do that. Actually, a lot of the code is kind of front end anyway, and for anyone who knows what they're doing, they can have a good snoop around already. But formally, we'll open source the code almost certainly. We're just working through that discussion and trying to work out how to go about doing that and what the license looks like, etc. So Streamer Network, there is a general level license. It's like a copyleft type license, GNU, and so yeah, we'll probably follow something similar to that. But it's important that we operate in as transparent manner as possible as we bring this new standard for video broadcasting to market and video conferencing.
And that's is that the main idea behind why we're open sourcing Streamer app?
Well, I think a central tenet of what we're doing is about security and to a certain degree privacy as well. Now, our bullseye users are going to be security and privacy conscious. We can't solve all of the problems around security and privacy, but we solve a bunch of them, especially when it comes to secure video communications. And I think it's important for anyone in the security and privacy space to be very open about what it is they're doing and how they're doing it. It's almost a hygiene factor in this space. If you're not open source, then you become a trusted partner. And of course, we're all about being trustless. And part of being trustless is decentralization, and part of it is about open source. And so, yeah, these are all the things that we need to do in order to be credible, essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Petri, do you want to talk a little bit about what we were discussing earlier in the week in terms of how StreamYard, Restream, these types of platforms ask you to connect to your YouTube account, your Google account, get full permissions, and so therefore there's a privacy infringement there, and how our system does it differently and does it more in a more private manner because we're not asking for full permissions?
Yes. So our approach to this one will be that we shall be running a very simple server component that is basically only a WebSocket TCP proxy, all these platforms, well, what they have in common is this RTMPS ingest protocol. I mean, the protocol with which you can feed your live video to them. And the common denominator there is this RTMPS protocol. Some providers, they support some other protocols as well, but the easiest way to get connected to all is to support RTMPS. And RTMPS, because it has this S in the end, it implies that it's a TLS encrypted protocol. So it's end-to-end encrypted the same way as HTTPS is. And it has exactly the same security implications as with HTTPS. So it is safe to use a simple proxy, like it is in the case of HTTPS, when this connection is end-to-end encrypted between the client and the server. It doesn't matter if there is a proxy in between, the connection is still secure. But the problem arises if this secure connection is terminated at the server for whatever reason. And when it comes to video, the reason usually is something like transcoding the video into different formats, or it's about sending the video only once to the server to save bandwidth, from which it will be transmitted to the targets. So our approach here is that we will follow this proxy route where all the connections are end-to-end encrypted between the client, which in this case is your browser, and the streaming service, which is like YouTube or Twitch or X or whatsoever. So this is how we will be safer than the others. So there's not going to be any server-side processing happening. There's no need for us to terminate the connection at the server. So the server doesn't need to be able to see the video or edit it in any way. It will go encrypted through the proxy directly to the streaming service. So this enables us to use untrusted proxies. So the end user, I mean this guy who is broadcasting their live show to YouTube doesn't need to trust the server component which is running this proxy at all, because whatever goes through that to YouTube, for instance, is end-to-end encrypted, and it's just as safe as using HTTPS proxies. So if we look at the competitors, this is often not the case. For instance, if you try StreamYard and try connecting adding this YouTube destination there, you shall quickly see a prompt that StreamYard wants to have certain rights to your YouTube account. And the rights basically give StreamYard unlimited access to your YouTube account to do whatever they please with your YouTube account. And in our case, we are not going to do anything of the sort. And this is a very important thing, especially for corporate users, or those like large scale, let's say YouTubers who have something to lose. They have like been doing the streaming for several years, and now if you are to give access to some unknown server to all of your YouTube account, and the server can do whatever they wish to your YouTube account. I mean, that sounds rather scary. But in our solution, you don't need to give any rights whatsoever. All that you need to give us is this stream key, and that key basically only gives the right to send video to that particular stream that you have created in the YouTube user interface yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Thanks, Petri. So yeah, we're going to be bringing this restreaming feature with the beta launch, and for the reasons Petri was just explaining, not only is it more private because we're not asking you to connect all of your and hand over all of your YouTube or X data from your account, but we're going to have all of the features of Restream, StreamYard, but a fraction of the cost as well. So
yes.
it's not kind of yeah.
And when it comes to the cost, so this solution is part of the reason why we can be cost effective as well, because we don't run any complex server side. We don't do any server side video processing. And if you have ever tried doing any video processing in the cloud, you will soon notice that you will need the high-end virtual machines in the cloud in order to do video processing. And if we were doing that, our costs would be much higher than this cost that comes from running the simple WebSocket TCP proxies. Those can be run on the lowest end of virtual machines. And in the future, we foresee that we can also start using the operator nodes for running these WebSocket to TCP proxies as well.
Awesome. Just to explain what operator nodes are for those that are in the audience that are not that close to the Streamer project. So the underlying infrastructure, network and protocol, Streamer network, is powered by a backbone of decentralized nodes which support peer-to-peer connectivity. So we employ those as we video stream via Streamer Video and Streamer app to do a number of things. So yeah, just to explain what Streamer operator nodes are.
And it would, so with this, like, since it's more cost effective, Petri, most people think, oh, cheaper means lower quality. Why is that not true in this case?
That is not true because, I mean, basically you are sending the video stream directly to the target through this WebSocket to TCP proxy. So it means that the latency will be as low as it can be, because there is no server-side processing happening there. And often when doing this server-side processing of videos using tools like FFmpeg or GStreamer, so the quality of the video itself often also goes down if you try to keep the latency low. But we are basically sending the original video as it is from the browser directly to the streaming service without server-side processing. Of course, here is the kind of the trade-off that comes with this end-to-end encrypted connections to the streaming services, is that this video needs to be sent individually to each of these streaming services. So it will consume more bandwidth from the client who is streaming.
From the actual source. So if they have low bandwidth,
But
the
this is
second
this is actually not such a big problem nowadays, considering what kind of network connectivity people usually have. So so this kind of full HD stream basically is around 6 megabits per
Oh, wow.
second. So you can
and
calculate,
that's
you can calculate from there that how many megabits of bandwidth it will require to stream out to, let's say, 3 services. It means 18. It's not
Okay.
much. I mean, most people have at least 100 megabits of upload bandwidth nowadays.
Yeah, that's basically the minimum for most people, 100. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, what's the limit or the threshold of bandwidth per like individual that's the streaming? Sounds like probably around depending on how many channels they're streaming to. But it sounds like around that 12 to like 36 range megabits almost. If you're streaming to 6 platforms or streaming to 2, around that.
Yeah, it depends
range.
on. It depends directly on the number of targets.
And in the beta version for the restreaming aspect, which is going to be very similar to the platform like StreamYard, how many platforms will we have that we will be able to restream from? Like, how many channels will be open?
Well, at least we are targeting to implement YouTube and Twitch. So we are currently looking at those. Hopefully we can also do more, but let's see. There are also some security constraints here. So if we were to open this our WebSocket to TCP proxy to connect to arbitrary addresses, so this would open a door for some attackers to attack some arbitrary addresses from WebSocket using our proxy. So that's not desirable. So we would rather like to keep those target addresses. I mean, the set of target addresses strictly defined by us. So then you cannot do any DDoS attacks to your government if that's what you are after. So there's, of course, we are also considering this opportunity, or not opportunity, but this option that you could actually run this kind of proxy yourself. In that case, there would be no such limitation because you would be responsible for the actions of the proxy and not us. So in that case, we could open up this to like sending to arbitrary targets as well. But let's see, it's not coming in beta yet. Or if we look at our competitors, so for example, in StreamYard, these arbitrary targets, arbitrary destinations are a premium feature, only available in the most expensive packages. So we might do something like that as well. But let's see. Let's start easy with a couple of targets and add more as we go.
Makes sense. Yeah, I was even going to ask, like, we have so many different options, or I guess like maybe features you can call it, inside StreamYard. So we have the restreaming, we have the streamer TV, we have the video business conferencing side. We have, a lot of sides to what StreamYard offers. will there be like one price that includes all? I know we have some talks about different tiers and all of that. Maybe we can dive more into that just to clear things up. Maybe there is a side where you get everything included based on like an enterprise tier. So there may be more clarity around there.
Yeah. So just to recap, we're bringing in a freemium model. So we want everyone to be able to use the core product with unlimited meeting lengths, unlimited audience sizes for broadcasting, and access to serverless, secure video conferencing and broadcasting, and serverless chat as well, which is built into the product, obviously. We want everyone to be able to access that in a permissionless manner and for free. So that's kind of the free tier. And then there's a pro tier as well, which we think is going to be about $9.99 a month. And with that, you get all of the added benefits that Patrick's just been talking about. So restreaming, self-recording videos for distribution for business development, and async of team comms. So kind of the Loom use case. There's a metadata protection feature that we're bringing in. And for that, what we do is we leverage the operator node base of Streamer Network. Patrick can talk a bit more about that in a moment in terms of how it works, but the one-liner on how that works is we the operator node essentially holds the metadata for the broadcaster and for the subscribers, and we randomize which operator nodes we're using for every different call, and so therefore there's no one point of source of truth for the metadata, and so we're obfuscating it. This is a key feature for us actually, because in peer-to-peer networks using WebRTC, which we do, typically metadata is exposed for all to see. So it's important that we close the gap on that as much as we can. So that's in the kind of pro tier. There's a few other features as well. One's called Broadcast Booster. And so it's for those that are broadcasting in challenging network conditions or internationally around the world. And the other feature is called Bandwidth Saver. As the name suggests, it helps optimize your bandwidth at any point in time. Both of those last two features, we also use the operator node base of Streamer Network. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of features coming through with the launch of the beta. And we're close now. So we had said originally March the 1st. I think we're going to slip on that slightly, but only very slightly. And, the core product is working, which is good. At the moment, it's kind of limited to Chrome browser because there's a limit to how much the guys can do ahead of launch. But we'll, fast follow on, we'll have it tested and optimized for other browsers as well, including Firefox and Brave. And then there's going to be some other features that will be fast follow-ons as well. So, we've talked about our referral marketing system called Meet to Earn. And so that will come, again, as a pro tier for pro tier users. So as they bring people in, they stand to earn some monetary rewards. Built-in referral marketing system, essentially. So yeah, there's this free tier, there's the pro tier. There's also going to be an enterprise tier as well. And enterprise is going to come later in the year, but we want to start those conversations now. In fact, we've started one or two of those conversations, early stage on those. But enterprise takes it to a whole nother level. So with that, what you can expect is potentially private networks using streamer technology, SLAs, which are kind of key for enterprises to use products such as ours. And then we'll be introducing certain regulatory standards as well, like HIPAA for health insurance companies in the US, and SOC 2. So yeah, lots to be done on the enterprise side of things, but that will come. I mean, we know that naturally over time, we're going to monetize this business more with enterprise than versus retail. That's what we've seen with every other similar type product. But it's a journey. It takes time to get to that. There's one other key feature which I forgot to mention, which is self-hosting. So we think we're going to introduce self-hosting capabilities to the pro level tier. That's not going to come with the beta launch in a few weeks' time. We're going to have to wait till later in the year for that. But certainly it's possible, and certainly we'll bring it at some point as quickly as we can.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you want to check out the latest, go to streamer.com. Actually, we've got a re-release of the site or an upgrade of the site coming end of the week, hopefully. But yeah, if you want to check out what's coming in terms of features and how they're going to work, then yeah, check out our website. It's all there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah,
A lot of stuff.
Petri,
A lot of stuff coming.
I was just going to ask Petri, when can we talk a little bit about timings? Like what's realistic now? Because obviously our first users are kind of excited to start using the product.
Yeah, it's always very difficult to tell the future. I think it's easier to tell that what we are currently working on, what we have done, because it's always unpredictable what will come next. So what we are currently working on is implementing this scene setup. So like in StreamYard, there are these different scenes that you can set up in Streamer. So that's what we are currently working on. We have already this permission system ready, where you can request to speak. So and we have the viewer mode. So yeah. So there's quite a lot of fine tuning and implementation to be done. Today actually I made the first implementation of this streaming from the browser through a WebSocket to TCP proxy to a RTMPS server, and I'm going to start testing that. But as I said, it's very difficult to tell that when these things will be completely ready. So, but I think the full picture here is that, okay, let's say that 90% of the features have been like started. We have some kind of implementation. I mean, it's not ready yet, but we have started. So another thing that has been started, and actually Juuso, our Web3 expert, has been working on this week, is the authentication, and he's got to get that ready by the end of the week. And this authentication will happen using OpenFort, a smart wallet provider. And that is a cool thing that we get that one implemented in parallel now with this video side.
Yeah, this is super cool, because as you come in and create an account on Streamer Video, we're not going to ask for your email address. We're going to ask you to create a Web3 wallet, write down a seed phrase. So you can either create a new Web3 wallet from scratch, or you'll be able to import your existing Web3 wallet, which means that you could use an ENS name, for example, if you have an ENS name, or you could even use your Ledger device in theory. So yeah, as
you could also OpenFort, this wallet infrastructure that allows you to authenticate using biometrics, or even Google and other authentication providers. So you create the wallet, and then you choose the method that you want to log in with to using that wallet.
And your biometrics stay on the device, right?
Yes.
Importantly.
Definitely. That's built into the operating systems, actually.
Yeah, if you are using your biometrics, make sure they stay on your device and don't go into the cloud, because also in the cloud, there's no going back, because you can't change your fingerprint. But yeah. Okay. Awesome. Very exciting. Yeah. What else? What else? Yeah. So we already have Stripe payment rail built into the product. Like that's in MVP2 of Streamer TV. So that's ready to go. As you subscribe to Pro Tier, you'll do so via Stripe account with Fiat. Do we think that's the optimal long-term solution? No. It's just the easiest starting point. We're building lean. At some point, we'll introduce crypto payments as well, using the data token or stable coins. But that's going to come later in the year.
It'll probably be like a discount you get for using data token versus a stable coin.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So I had a question on creating an account. How would that process? How's that flow go for a new user when they're creating a Streamer app account? Maybe I just can, so I can paint a picture so I can see it a little bit more clear.
Actually, do you want to answer that, or you're close to it? I mean, I can if you want me
to. Yes, sure. So basically we are using the OpenFort account creation.
Is it possible to run it through? Like, can we showcase that right now on? You want to share your Figma or no?
Let's see. Actually, we could have a look at the OpenFort demos for this. Just let me find those.
Okay.
OpenFort. But it takes a little time before I find those, so maybe you can.
No worries. Yeah, no, I put you on the spot here, so no, no problem.
Yes. Okay, here it is. I don't know if the screen sharing, how does it work? Press present.
Present, yeah, and then just share the screen.
Share screen.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming we'll have a similar feature with the restream feature.
Yes. Allow. Yes. Now let's see. Here. So can you now see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, so this is how you sign into OpenFort and also to our solution. So you just press register. So it asks that give your biometrics. Let's see. Okay, my biometrics. Okay, now my biometrics failed because my fingerprint has apparently changed with the window because now. So
it dried off your fingerprint.
They have dried off, but now you can see the fallback. So
you got to remember, Petty's in Finland and it is seriously cold. Actually, what's the temperature outside?
Well, currently it's only -2, but it was like -2.
Only -2.
Yeah.
It was -20.
Guys, can you see now what is happening as fallback? Okay, the biometrics failed. So this
and you
is
just enter your password.
Yes, this is the master password of this Mac. All of this comes from the operating system itself. So now I press unlock. And now it's registering. So now it's creating the wallet. Okay. And here I already have a crypto wallet with a known address. So people can actually send crypto to this wallet. This is the real crypto wallet. And you saw how easy it is to create. So then I can go on to execute a transaction on chain.
Does this happen on Polygon?
Yes, this is actually on Polygon. So let's see, does the touch Eve work now? No. So probably this will fail again. I need to sign in with password again. Okay, now it's minting the tokens.
And the Stripe,
On
there's Stripe
chain.
integration with this. Is it happening through this? What is it called? OpenFort? Is it happening through OpenFort, the Stripe integration?
In the sense that when buying a license on Stripe, we will pass this wallet address as metadata of that Stripe transaction. So then we know exactly that which user has bought the license. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, so that is the way this is integrated to this fiat payments at the moment. So now this transaction on chain, it went through. I can press view, and here it's in the transaction scan. So we can see that it actually happened on chain. So this. It is very, very easy nowadays to onboard people to become Web3 users, and we're gonna leverage this now. It was totally different story way back when you needed to ask people to install a browser extension and then give some passphrases whatsoever. But this is how it goes nowadays.
So now what happens from here? Is it basically the account is made and the person is technically their ID of who they are is technically the string of this Ethereum public address key?
Yes. So now this wallet, I mean the secret key has been securely stored by this browser / operating system, well, technically it's more complicated than that. This is actually an on-chain wallet created by OpenFort, and this private key that was created by the and stored by the operating system, that has been granted a right to act as a signer for that on-chain wallet. So this kind of works the same way as these multi-sig wallets that you have maybe heard of in the crypto world. So you have these multi-sig wallets where you can configure that, okay, these secret keys need to sign the transaction in order it to happen. So it's the same here. This works the same way. So this private key that is generated and stored by the operating system, that is configured as a signer to this actual wallet that exists on chain.
Super secure. Really
Yes.
secure. Yeah.
It is. So now, okay, you have this wallet, and now you are ready to operate. You can, for example, buy a license from us, and this Ethereum address will be passed in the metadata to Stripe, and we will have a Stripe hook. I mean server-side hook that gets launched when the payment has been made, and this hook will write to an on-chain smart contract that, okay, the user with this Ethereum address has a license to pro level in Streamer for 1 month, and that will read there in the smart contract. and then everybody everybody will be able to check that, including our operator nodes. They can check that, okay, is this a licensed user or not.
Nice. Really cool stuff. So essentially, like once you do the subscription through your account, how would I? This is the sign-in process of StreamWrap. So I'm on StreamWrap. I want to start going live as a user or as like a business for like my business meeting. I go through this process for OpenFort, and then once I have this all made, every time I log into StreamWrap via the browser, I'm always logged in. Or do I need to like do a browser wallet login?
No, you do the login the same way as you did the registration. So whether you use whether you use the biometric or whether you use the master password of your computer,
is that easy?
It's exactly the same way. But you are known by this Ethereum address, and then you can sign things using this Ethereum identity. You can say that, okay, hey, by the way, I'm Petri. You sign this with your private key.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
And then everybody knows that, okay, this Ethereum address claims to be Petri.
So if you want to log into the product, click login, fingerprint on the biometric, app opens, boom. One click to live stream.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm trying to see it from a user's perspective that's never used any Web3 app before, never connected a wallet before. This seems really simple, like super simple to use. I can give this to anyone and they would just do register your wallet, boom, sign in, and then that's it. It's really register a wallet, and then after you register your wallet, you sign in, and then I'm assuming it directs you straight to the StreamWrap page after that, right?
Yeah.
Once you sign in. Wow, yeah, super simple.
Yes. Yeah, that's like we've talked a lot and thought a lot about, how do we strip out, how do we make the UX as effective as possible and as easy so that everybody can enjoy this sort of secure and private product. Like a lot of security and privacy-based products are quite technically difficult to use and set up.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're trying to solve that problem here, So we all know decentralized Web3 technologies bring a ton of advantages, features that we can build, but historically Web3 apps have always been tricky to use. So yeah, we're solving that problem as best as we can.
Really cool. Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's good to see too, like to get the visual of it, because before I was like confused on how exactly we were doing it, but now it makes a lot more sense.
Okay, so what I did here is I logged out, and now I try to log in.
How'd you log out? You just exited the page?
I just pressed the log out button there.
So there's a log out button. Gotcha.
Yes. So I press sign in. So now, because I have been testing this out, so I have several of these accounts saved on this device, but I can choose one from there, and then give my biometrics again, which seems to now it's now accept. Yes, there I am.
And then now you're logged in, and then you can log out and log into any. Yes. Maybe you can make a couple more wallets if you wanted to. It seems like so. It's kind of easy, cool, nice.
And there's gonna be
And why would people want to mint 10 tokens? What is this? Is this going to be part of it too, or is just like
no? This is just for that. This is just their demo.
Gotcha.
You can do a crypto transaction after.
So the streamer on the StreamWrap is going to be more built around the StreamWrap app brand. It's going to be curated to StreamWrap this page.
Yes. So you can do different kinds of transactions in the StreamWrap app.
Cool. No, really cool. I'm actually really it makes it now it's so much more clear on the aspect of identity. Like not giving your identity, anyone can participate. If you're 10 years old, if you're 80 years old, and no one's going to know who you are. And this is actually the beauty behind these type of rails where like, no, it's weird to see this because typically me being a Web3 user since, 8-9 years, all I did was use my MetaMask Connect, which that's cool too, but this is so much more simpler and it feels a lot more safe where I especially because you said it's multi-sig as well. So like you can't really like mess up here and you can't have a lot of vulnerabilities or hacks that happen because it's not, I don't know how the multi-sig happened, but you said there's multi-sig, so I'm assuming that's the safe end of it. But,
so that's in OpenFort that is used for like account recovery. So you can set you can actually set up multiple signers for the same wallet. So let's say that okay, this is your primary computer. And you do this process here, but there is a way of adding additional allowed signers to the same wallet. So that's how you stay safe. You can add another one on your mobile phone, and
we should definitely see
and so on.
Yeah, most people got multiple Web3 wallets, right? So you can create a backup with your other Web3 wallets. But worst case scenario, if someone can't get in, then they just set up a new account and repeat the process.
What I'm thinking about is more like if they end up having tokens on this wallet, right? Like let's say they're getting tip tokens via other people from this from Streamer app.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not quite on. We're tipping more to the Stripe account right now, but eventually we'll probably get to the point where we're tipping the actual ETH wallet. And I'm assuming people will actually add that ETH wallet on the bottom of their stream. But you can also tip me in crypto for the time being, and people will understand. The people that are in the crypto world will understand how that works. There might be more friction there, but eventually we'll be able to probably just tip them straight from the app itself.
Yeah.
Yes, and actually one of the good features of this OpenFort system is this that you can see on the center of the screen that executes sponsored transactions. So in this demo, there is a paymaster set up just for this demo for paying the gas fees. So there is no more playing around with having certain tokens in your wallet for paying for the gas.
Nice.
So basically, because the author of this demo is now paying for doing these transactions, so it's free for the users. And we are planning to do the same. If and when we are doing some real on-chain transactions in the Streamer app, so we're gonna do the same. We are gonna set up a paymaster to pay for the transaction fees. So nice. There's none of this.
That's the worst feeling.
Difficult stuff having it on your wallet to pay for the gas.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I think there's a cool world where we can maybe even have like OpenFort, like talk with them, because this is maybe talk with them, get them on a Build in Public call and showcase this with them, or do some type of integrate partnership with them, more announced, because this is we have a great use case of how I think more people should utilize this tech. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yes. Yeah, these technologies, they have emerged during the last 12 months or so, and it's kind of sad that this happens so late. This should have happened like 5 years ago, and everybody would be using Web3. Because the obstacle of adopting it was so high, but now it's like it's gone. This is easier than setting up an account in a Web2 environment where you need to play around with the emails and such.
I think it's easier now when they allow you to connect with one of your Gmail accounts or your Microsoft account, but you have so much data at risk and so many things at risk when you do that,
That's
that
the point.
it's kind of scary. Yeah, it's scary. So it's like it's easy, but you're still putting so many things at risk when you integrate your email accounts and stuff. So it helps on a lot of fronts, right? Because you can connect when you have one thing connected to the email account, then so many other things can integrate when you have like your email account connected. But you put yourself at a huge risk when it comes to if your email gets compromised or other things get compromised. So yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting fork in the road of what people want. Easier sign-ins that don't allow for integrations onto other apps. Maybe eventually there is a point where you can have integrations onto other apps from your ETH wallet or an ETH address, right? Where this ETH address is connected to this app. So then if you connect this ETH address to this app, it automatically sees it and there's like an integration, right? Like a Notion connection happens via this open fork connection or this like Streamer app connection. And then like all the transcriptions that happen on Streamer app would go automatically onto like Notion, right? Because the ETH address was integrated onto both apps. Like right now you can do that with Gmail with certain things, right? But there's probably some future with that too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that this enables, and I think one of the important things is that you are in control of what you share, what kind of information of yourself you share. I mean, when using Ethereum addresses and private keys, you can sign whatever info you want. You can, for example, if you want, you can sign your passport photo and distribute that one. That okay, this is my Ethereum address, and by the way, here's my picture. You can do that if you want, but nobody is forcing you to do that.
Good point. Yeah, they can't be extracted from the actual sign-in process or from the credentials. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Should we jump into questions?
Yeah. Looks like we got one. How do you stake the token? Top
Cool, yeah.
Pat Hamster.
Yeah, good question. So for those new to sort of Streamer project, then as I was explaining at the beginning of the call, this is Streamer video at application layer, and then we've got the network and protocol, and the native token is called data. And to stake it, what you want to do is set up and run an operator node, which is a little bit technical. I don't think you have to be at Petri's level, but you need some technical expertise. And with the help of Claude or ChatGPT, pretty much anyone could do it. But it does take a bit of time. But to get started with that, go to the website streamer.network and then go to probably open the hub, which is an application on that website. And on the hub, you will see a button, set up operator node, or you can go to the documentation as well, and there's instructions in there as well. And what you're doing when you set up an operator node is you are supplying your latent bandwidth to the network, and you are going to run your operator nodes against what's called sponsorship contracts. And as you do that, you stake your data token, and you'll get data tokens back in terms of APY from the sponsorship contract. It's a little bit complicated at first, but yeah, I mean, ask ChatGPT or Claude how it works if you want any clarity on that. If you're not technical and you don't want to set up an operator node, the easiest way to stake your token is to delegate. So we use the language delegate, and that is for non-operator nodes that are data token holders, and they can go to any operator node on the hub, and they can delegate their tokens to those operator nodes, and they get a cut of the APY back. That's the easiest way to do it. So yeah, go onto the hub, and you can take your pick of operator nodes. Think of them as kind of pools, and delegate your data tokens there. Super easy.
It's pretty high right now too, right? The APY on delegation or
yeah, I've not checked
yeah,
it for a few weeks, but it's probably north of, what is it? North of 25, 30%, something like that.
It says 65% right now. Yeah.
I've not checked for a while actually. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Pretty high.
Yeah,
so there's opportunity there.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up? No, not too many questions this week. Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. Good session, guys. Yeah. We're close. We're close to launching Streamer Beta. Exciting.
Yeah,
And I can't
really
wait for the
exciting.
day when we can host this call on Streamer, which will be soon as well.
That's gonna be fun because then we'll be able to stream it via. We'll basically be able to do everything we're doing on here, but on Streamer app. So
Yeah, 100%.
cool.
That'd be great. All right. Thanks, Petri. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Okay,
have a
thank
good one,
you.
guys.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.